Okay. Greetings, everyone. Get started here. Hope everyone's doing well today. I'm going to position my camera a little better. There are problems everywhere. We are entering into a post-pandemic time frame. We dealt with COVID at its severity in the year 2020, and really it lingered on through probably the early part of 2020. Now, at the time of this recording, if you're watching it later, I'm recording this on October 6th, 2022. Now, at the time of this recording, we're dealing with inflation, we're dealing with the Fed raising interest rates, we're dealing with logistics problems where we're having a hard time getting materials, whether it be parts or raw materials or even just finished material, finished products and services. We're entering into this time where it's just a weird moment in history. And hopefully, we will never repeat this ever again. But this is where we are. So we're looking at inflation. And the other interesting thing, if you study any history, if you look at economics, now I am by far not an economics guru, but I know enough to be dangerous. Okay, where we are right now, we have supply and demand is we have low supply, high demand for things, and so that drives up prices, thus inflation. We have the Federal Reserve banks. The Fed is trying to cool inflation. So what they do to combat that is to raise interest rates, and what they're trying to do is make it more expensive for money. So the thought is when you make borrowing money more expensive, it decreases demand, but we don't see any slowing at the moment. And we just came out of an extremely hot real estate market. And now the gurus are saying we might go into a real estate bubble, meaning it's going to break. And so we've got this really interesting thing. And then finally, we have this is the most interesting of all. We have low unemployment. Historically, it's low. It's not the best it's been, but it's low. But oddly enough, we have low unemployment, but we have the highest job availability in a long time. In fact, I want to say it's somewhere around 90 million. It's millions of jobs are open right now. And the fascinating thing is, back in the year 2012, 2013, when I was working on my doctorate, I was doing research on the market like this. And the interesting thing is, the estimate was that we would be around 90 million people that were not in full-time work by the year 2025, 2030. Now, this is 2022, and the pandemic has increased the speed of some of these things unfolding. I had said that we were probably going to have the majority of people working for themselves, or working multiple jobs by the year 2025, 2030. Sorry, I have something in my eye. And here we are in 2022, and all these things are unfolding. Okay, why am I talking about this? And I don't want you to check out just yet. What I'm talking about is this issue of solving problems for the consumer. Now you're thinking, what does this have to do with the economy on tilt and we're in this economic trouble? I'm going to tell you right now. Now is the very best time to consider starting a business. Why? Because there's so many people out there that are not working. Even though our unemployment rate is low, you have to understand that unemployment is only relative to the number of people that actually are participating in the unemployment process. So that means if you lose your job, you go to the unemployment office and you file for unemployment, you are registered as unemployed. Okay? If you choose not to, or you have been out of work so long that you have now gone past the available funds for unemployment, you're not counted anymore. So we have millions of people out there that are either working multiple jobs or they're in a job they hate, and they're doing the work of two or three people. Trust me, I've been there. I worked for an organization where they kept letting people go, and I kept taking on more roles and responsibilities, but they weren't paying me more. And I know there's someone out there listening to this right now that is going through that same thing where they keep people keep quitting, or they fire people, but they're not replacing them. And yet we have this level of job opportunity out there, and we have businesses that are trying to fill roles that they can't fill. Now, where's this come in with solving problems? Well, if you want to start a business, maybe you're thinking about starting a business, maybe you're thinking about restarting a business, maybe you have a business and you're trying to figure out how to get it really rocking and rolling. Here is the thing. If you're going to have a business, if you're going to be an entrepreneur, you have to solve problems for the consumer. Now, I teach this in my courses that I have over on my website, maximumchange.com, but I want to share this with you. This is free. I'm giving this away. Okay. This is for you right now to catch on to. You have to solve problems for the consumer. There are problems everywhere that need solutions. Let me give you an example. The other day, I decided I was going to go get a birthday cake for someone in my family. And I went to my tried and true location. I went to the local grocery store chain that I frequent quite often every week because it's around the corner from my house. And they've gotten thousands and thousands of dollars from me over the years. Okay. So I go in there and I go in the afternoon. I'm thinking, afternoon's probably good. They're probably winding down for the day, because usually the bakery is busy early in the morning because they're pulling stuff out of the ovens, they're restocking. There's a lot going on early in the morning. So I figured I'd go there about 2:30 in the afternoon. I get there, the grocery store has no one working in the bakery. No one. And so I'm like, okay, great. So I decided, after going to the gym and dropping my son off at school, I was going to stop back in the bakery the next morning and place my order for this cake because I wanted a customized cake. So I get there, and I'm there about 8 in the morning. And there's two people there. There's a baker in the back who is frazzled, and I could tell they've been there for a while. They usually get there around 3 or 4 in the morning, and they work until mid-morning. So they work their 8-hour shift or whatever, and then they leave. And then there was someone else there that was stocking, probably the manager or something, but they were stocking. So finally, I got the attention of the baker that was in the back because the person stocking was too far away. And I said, "Excuse me." And the lady came over, very grumpy. Yeah, you know, great customer service, right? And I said, "I want to order a cake." And she said to me, "We don't take cake orders." I'm like, "What do you mean?" So I'm too late in the day. I'm too early in the day. You don't only do it on certain times of the week. I mean, maybe I needed it too quickly. I mean, what do you mean? So no, we haven't taken orders for cakes in 4 months. And I was like, why? Because the pandemic to me is over. I mean, we're not wearing masks in my locale and in Southern Ohio. And I'm like, why? And the lady said to me, as she turned to walk away, "We don't have enough people working. We don't have enough employees." So I couldn't order the cake that I wanted to at the place that I like, that's convenient to me, because people don't want to work. Now, look, this is not meant to be some political conversation or what. I'm leave all that out, okay? Forget all that. The truth is, no matter what your political persuasion or how you feel about things, the fact of the matter is, we have a situation right now in this country, for whatever reason you want to choose, pick, argue, whatever. We have this problem where people don't want to work. Now, I'm not saying that people don't have aspirations, they don't have the ability to work, they're incapable. What we have is a situation where people don't want to work the hours that are required of them, because keep in mind, They're making people work more than ever for less pay. Even with the pay they're offering, let's say they're paying these bakers $15 an hour, but you're making them do the work of three people. Is it really worth $15 an hour when you're having taxes taken out and everything? By the time they're done, they're getting in their paycheck $12 an hour for an 8-hour shift where they've had to do the work of three people, and they're getting no help. They're exhausted, and they're asked to do more and more and more. So we have this quandary going on in the world right now. This is where the entrepreneur comes in. You see, there's a problem going on there. There is a need for customized cakes at a reasonable price. Okay. Now, I would have spent, let's say, $25, $30 at my local grocery store for a cake. Okay. Now, this is key. I want you to catch this. I would have spent $25, $30 on a cake to be customized at my local grocery store. They don't offer it anymore. I called around to other stores. They didn't offer the type of customization I wanted because I wanted a certain flavor and whatever. Okay. And so I didn't go to those other places. So I went to a local baker. Now, you may live in a place where you don't have a local bakery, or the local bakery is too far away. Okay. Whatever the situation is, or maybe there's a backlog at that bakery because they're so busy because the grocery store isn't taking customized orders. My point here is I ended up going to this local bakery. It's a great bakery. I love their product. I don't go in there enough. One, because it's a little bit out of my way from where I live. The grocery store is around the corner from me, so to speak. I mean, if I could walk in a straight line, I'm less than 1,000 feet away from my grocery store. This local bakery is about a mile and a half, 2 miles away, and traffic and everything. So anyhow, I go to the local bakery. I walk in. Thankfully, I walked in right before the cutoff for when I needed the cake. I need the cake for Saturday, and I said I need to custom order this cake. And the problem is this, and this is what I'm looking for. And the lady said, "Well, we don't do that." Then I said, "Well, this is what my wife likes," and because I'm getting one for my wife. Anyhow, the lady was like, "Well, let's collaborate here and figure this out." And she walked through, and we came up with a solution that was going to work, and we came up with a design. And guess what? The cake was not 25 or $30. The cake was $47. And guess what? I was glad to pay $47 and some change. I've got the receipt here. I'll even tell you exactly what it was. I paid $46.10, almost $47. $46.10 for a custom 8-inch cake, round cake with happy birthday on it and the filling that I wanted and all of that. Why am I telling you this? Because the problem exists that there aren't enough people to work bakery. Okay. There are other things, whether it be delivery or shopping for someone. We've got all these different, DoorDash and all these other things that are out there, and they all serve a purpose and they do a certain thing, and people can make really good money. I did a part-time job at a local pharmacy for a while just because I wanted to get out of the house. It was we were coming out of the pandemic. I'd been locked in the house, and I just wanted to make a little extra money and be around people. And so I worked at this pharmacy. And these people from these delivery services, DoorDash and otherwise, would come in, and I'd talk to them because I'd work the register or whatever I was doing. And I'd talk to them, and I'd find out they were making, those that were really working the system were making, $800 to $1,200 for maybe 2 or 3 days worth of work. And they would work, hard those days. But can you imagine making $1,200 a week for basically 16 hours of work? They were hustling. Of course, they were making tips and so forth. And if you get really good at that, obviously you're going to make good money. So here's my thought. You need to be able to solve a problem. Okay, whatever that problem is, you're going to go out. You're going to need to be observant. You're going to have to stay alert. You're going to have to observe the world around you. Okay. What is going on in the world around you? You're going to be hit by these problems all the time. Okay. What are they? You're going to come up with them and you're going to deal with them. Okay. For me, it was needing a cake. Maybe for you, it's something else. I'm finding there are all sorts of different problems out there. No matter where you go, there aren't enough workers. This is the time in the midst of a market turmoil, in the midst of crazy times, people understand they're going to have to pay a premium to get something done. Now is the time to establish a business and work all the kinks out and figure everything out so that when the market improves, and I do believe it will improve at some point, um, at some day and in time, we will start to see improvement. I don't know when that is. Hopefully sooner than later. But the bottom line is, imagine that you come up across a problem that you're the consumer. You're not the only one having this problem. There's other people out there dealing with this same exact problem. Guess what? That is a market opportunity. That is an opportunity within the consumer market for you to go forth and to find a solution that works. Now, again, there are problems everywhere. You need to find a way to solve those problems. I'm not going to try to solve the bakery problem. Okay, I was able to solve it by driving a little bit out of my way and paying about almost $20 more than I was going to pay at my local grocery store. But here's the important thing: as you're looking for these problems, I want you to make sure that if you say, "Oh, I'm trying to come up with a business idea," there is a problem that can be solved. I know the solution for it, but here's the thing: I want you to be very careful about. Don't chase the money. Okay, you could probably make great money doing that, but if you're not passionate about it long term, there's no sense in you doing it. Don't chase the short term dollar. You might say, "Well, you don't understand. I need money." I'm like, "Well, yeah, you can go drive Uber or DoorDash and get short term money. But if you're going to start a business, you need to look at the long term context. You cannot look at the short term gains. You need to look at something that you're going to be passionate about, something that you can have skill in, and something that you, of course, ultimately can make a profit at." Now, I started a business, first business I ever started, that I could truly say was a business, incorporated, and I had employees and, product. When we started, we didn't know what we were doing. I had to guess about pricing, and we did wholesale and retail, and I had to guess all of this. And it doesn't mean that I got it all right. You're going to make mistakes along the way, but you need to learn from those mistakes as you move along. You need to stay alert, look around, be observant in the world that you are operating in. You need to note things that you notice are problems in the world around you, in your life, in the life of your neighbors, your family, maybe there are problems within the community or the nation at large. Now, obviously, you may not be able to start a business that's going to solve a problem nationally or globally right away. Maybe you'll get there, but most people will start in their vicinity and they will start to spread out. Now, you might have maybe solve a problem through a service, and that is something that you could probably push out from more of a local thing to a regional or state, national, whatever. But don't think that you have to start with the grandiose plan. Start small, build methodically. You need to build strategically and make sure that you are understanding what the problem is. Now here's the thing. You can't just say, "I see this problem, it exists, and I have this solution for it." Now, again, I do this in my training, but you need to look at the market conditions. You need to look at who are the players in the market, what are they doing, where are they falling short, what is their gap in coverage of product or service, how can you do what they are doing better, or how can you fill the void of what they're not doing because of whatever reason. And then make sure that whatever solution you come up with, that you have a long-term vision as to how you're going to deal with it if that organization decides that they can now meet that need. How are you going to pivot to compete with them? My very first product that I ever sold was my business in 2000. We created natural body and bath and body products, spa type products. And we had made a mental decision that we were going to compete against the big box stores, the Bath and Body Works and so forth. We were going to compete against them. Why? Because the mom and pop companies were selling their product for twice to three times the amount that the big box stores were selling their product for. And many times it was the same type of product, same type of fragrances, and so forth. So I decided that we were going to compete with the big box store by selling our product for the same price. And it was a brilliant plan. And we had the capacity to lower the price if we needed to, or we could have decided later on to increase the price like all the other mom and pop businesses were doing. You have to make sure that whatever plan you come up with, that right now, as you're trying to solve this problem, that you keep in mind that where you solve that problem, they very well could solve the problem themselves too. Now, here's the thing. At some point, you yourself may have to find a way to hire people. Yeah, you may need employees because you get too successful to do it by yourself. And now you've tapped in all your friends and family that could possibly ever want to help you. And some of them have said, no, I don't want that. You will have to hire people. And so now you need to be thinking creatively of how you're going to entice people to work, because you've filled a problem. You're dealing with a problem. You have to be unique about it. Think outside the box, think outside the bucket, whatever it is. You need to be creative about this. But you need to be able to solve that problem in a creative way with passion. Make sure that you have a skill set that matches what you're doing. And of course, make sure that you're making a profit. There are problems everywhere. I run into this problem at my local car repair shop. I'm running into an issue right now where I need to have spark plugs changed in my vehicle. The spark plugs themselves are not that expensive per se. Okay, the parts are not that expensive for what I need done, but the labor involved with taking things apart to get to those plugs, because of the type of vehicle I have, you have to take some things off of the engine, lift it up so you can get to these plugs. I'm talking a $900 bill to get my spark plugs replaced. And they're going to spray some sort of anti-carbon thing down in there and try to clean out the engine as well. But the point I'm trying to make is the actual parts for that are a couple $100. Okay, so I'm having to pay $900 for maybe $250 worth of parts because of the labor involved. That's a problem. Now, I have the tools. I can do it myself. I can take this stuff apart. It's a lot of work, or I can pay the $900. Something I'm weighing out right now. There's a problem there. There's problems everywhere I go, and there are solutions to that. Now, how you deal with a problem, how you come up with the solution is entirely up to you because of your creativity. But make sure that you understand the problem fully. Make sure that you understand the solution you have, or you feel like you can come up with that solution. Make sure that you tie that to a passion, because you need to be able to do this for a long time, and you need to have skill in it. When I started my business, I didn't know what I was doing. I thought I had passion in it. And what I really had passion in was building a business. I didn't really have passion per se for the product. I grew to have passion for the product, but I didn't start off with a passion for it. And you might do the same. You might not have a passion for whatever. but there are a lot of opportunities. I talked about in a video months and months ago where I had gone to the local dry cleaner and I wanted to get um, some pants fitted. And the lady said, "We have I don't know, it was like a 3 or 4 month backlog because the contractor that they had was behind." That is a problem for someone who has uh, an ability to do tailoring or seamstress work, that they could say, "Hey, do you have a need for a backup tailor or seamstress or whatever? I am interested in taking, business, and I have this capacity." That's a problem that has a solution. There's other issues where I've seen these concierge services. It's kind of like DoorDash, okay? Where I had a friend, and now this would have been, we're going to go back to 2003 to 2005, 2006 timeframe. So this has been a while ago, okay? I had a friend that had a part-time concierge business, and what they had was a land, and they had, it's set up where they could go around and pick up laundry bags. Okay, there was these, canvas bags. They picked them up from customers and they delivered them to the cleaners, and the cleaners would clean them and turn them around in the given contracted time. And my friend would go pick this up from the cleaners. They had racks in there, and they would go and deliver these items to their customer, and they got paid for it. Now they obviously got paid for the cleaning plus the delivery service, and that's where they were making the profit, was really in the delivery side of it. And they did this for a number of years before they sold it to somebody for a profit. So there are problems everywhere. Okay. The question is, are you the one to solve that problem? Or maybe you know someone that's looking for an opportunity and you think that they might be able to have that problem, a solution to that problem. Okay, I've talked a lot about solving problems for consumers. What I want you to do is take your imagination with you. I want you to take your observation skills out with you. And I want you to just stay alert and pay attention to what's going on in the world. You're going to just by default run into issues over and over and over again. What I want you to do is take note of them, especially if you're looking for something to start a business with. And once you come up with that idea, I think you should maybe pop over to my YouTube channel, Maximum Change, or maybe even go over to my website at maximumchange.com and check out the training that I have over there. And I have different training mindset of an entrepreneur and how to write a business plan and all those things. Now, I want to say something very clear. Be careful. A lot of times gurus out there will tell you, and I have a video on my YouTube channel about what the gurus get wrong. You want to go check that out. And maybe I'll put a link in the recording of that down below. Be careful, because what the gurus get wrong is they will tell you, come up with a business idea and write a business plan. And that is not exactly the route that I like to take. So check out the link below or go to my YouTube channel, Maximum Change. Check out that video on what the gurus get wrong. Check out my website at maximumchange.com, or you can reach out to me. Send me an email, info@maximumchange.com. I'm Dr. Philip Foster. You can just call me Philip if you want. And I've been in business for over 30 years, 20 plus years of that. I've been an entrepreneur and business owner, and I've worked with clients all around the world, startups to Fortune 50 companies all around the world. And I really want to work with you. I want to help you. Hope this video was useful to you. And I would love to hear from you. Drop a comment. Please like this video. Please follow us. And please share this video. I'd really appreciate it, because I know there are people out there that desperately want to start businesses. And I take this approach where I am not going to sit here and tell you all the fancy buzzwords, and I'm not going to teach you anything from some high up level. I want to teach you in practical terms, practical words, and practical processes and solutions. So I hope that's helpful. I'd love to hear from you. Like, save, share, follow, all of that. And check us out. By the way, you can find us on Facebook as well at Maximum Change. Have a good day.